Now, we here at Videoguys are always going to recommend the NETGEAR line of M42 Pro AV switches from NETGEAR. And before we start talking about NETGEAR's Pro AV line of M4250 switches, I just want to play this quick video to kind of introduce what NETGEAR is and what those switches do. So we're going to play that video for you now.
Introducing the all-new NETGEAR M4250 series AV line switches. Engineered and designed from the ground up to exceed the increasing demands of AV professionals. Featuring all ports on the back with status lights on the front and a range of sizes. Starting as low as 8 ports and a variety of PoE options for up to 90 watts per port, the M4250 series supports any 1 gigabit AV over IP deployment. Pre-configured for out-of-the-box functionality, these switches can be up and running with little to no configuration. When more configuration is required, a dedicated web-based GUI specifically created for AV professionals is available. Software-controlled fan adjustments enable the fans to be turned off when ambient temperature and PoE loads are appropriate for a totally fanless and acoustic-friendly operation. Mounting flexibility is crucial. Along with reverse rack mounting, threaded holes on the chassis allow for universal mounting options outside the rack as well. The new NETGEAR M4250 series AV line switches are here.
NETGEAR's Pro AV switches are specifically built for media environments. They're specifically built for AV over IP. These are not your standard business or especially not your standard consumer network switches. These are switches that are pre-configured for AV profiles. The great thing about NETGEAR switches is at the end of the day, you can go in and you can heavily customize these switches, but if you really don't know what you're doing, there are a lot of different options that you have. The first is they can be basically plug and play. You can plug in your NDI camera or encoder into a NETGEAR switch, and without having to do anything, it will work. If you want to get the best capabilities out of that, you will want to go into the web GUI and the Engage 2.0. And not only are they designed for video over IP, it's media environments. So they also have pre-programmed support for NDI and Dante. They have the ability to have media-ready VLAN templates. So when we're talking about putting devices on the network, you really don't want to have your NDI or your Dante devices getting mixed signals with the rest of the items that may be on your network. So to be able to have a virtual VLAN allows you through one switch to be able to separate those devices so you don't have to worry about somebody accidentally being able to get into your NDI camera and start moving it on accident, because you can separate them. And it also gives you the ability to remote monitor your devices. And we're going to get into that a little bit with Engage 2.0 as well. I wanted to go through the top 5 reasons that we here at WorshipStreamTV recommend NETGEAR's Pro AV M4250 line of switches. First and foremost, they are engineered for AV over IP. I know I sound a little bit like a broken record, but they really are. You can plug the NETGEAR switches in and they will just work. It's great. NETGEAR is committed to Pro AV. Now, of course, if they're making NETGEAR switches that are Pro AV, that means that they're committed to AV. But they are going above and beyond. And there are 2 main ways that I can point that out to you. The first is they have their Pro AV design team. NETGEAR's Pro AV design team is a team and a service that is offered for no charge for both pre-sale and post-sale support. So if you have no idea what you're looking at when you're trying to build a network out, you can reach out to their Pro AV design team and say, hey, this is the amount of cameras that I want to put on my network. This is the switcher that I'm using on my network. And how do I get this all to work together? Is this switch going to have enough power? Is this switch going to have enough ports to do that? And they will, through their chat, be able to answer any questions that you have. So it is super, super nice of NETGEAR to offer that for no extra charge. And that's pre-sale and post-sale support. The other way that you can point out that they are committed to this Pro AV market is they are listening to what's going on in the AV over IP market, and they are reacting to that and making more products for those. One of the big pushes in NDI over the past year or so has been using wireless NDI. We're going to talk to BirdDog in just a few minutes here, but companies like BirdDog are making wireless PTZ cameras, and even with their X4, they're making battery-powered wireless NDI devices, PTZ cameras. So NETGEAR saw that this was happening, and they responded to that and said, hey, let's make wireless access points that are designed specifically for AV over IP. And BirdDog is just one example, but another example would be Kiloview with their N1 and N2 systems and their P3 systems that we talked about yesterday, being able to convert a signal into a wireless NDI signal to send back to your production system. Atomos has that ability with their Connect devices with something like the Ninja TX, being able to connect your camera, whether a non-NDI camera, connect it to this monitor, and it will convert that into a wireless NDI signal. Well, NETGEAR has responded and made wireless access points so you can connect to your NETGEAR switch. And they are extremely easy to configure. They have a web GUI that you can log into. You just need to know the IP address of the switch. But they also have something called Engage 2.0, which again is a free software that you can download, and you can easily configure your switch, not just one switch, but all of your switches that are on a single network. So if you have multiple buildings and they're all connected via fiber to a core NETGEAR switch, you can control all of those switches and designate every port and color code them and do whatever you need. And you can do that all from NETGEAR Engage. We also talked about this a little bit too, that they have built-in profiles. So yes, you can use these NETGEAR switches as plug-and-play devices, but you also have the ability to go in and customize them. If you know that you are going to be utilizing a PTZ Optics Move 4K utilizing NDI HX3, you can go into that Engage software and you can tell it, this is going to be an NDI HX3 device connected to this, and it will automatically build that preset and optimize your video flow for NDI HX3. And it is also getting updates for NDI 6. We just talked about that a little bit. NDI 6 was announced last year, and it's only getting better. Only just a couple weeks ago did we get NDI 6.3, which added a bridge that can be built into PTZ cameras. So a lot of great stuff is coming from both the NDI team and the NETGEAR team, and they are reacting and responding to these changes and doing what they can to make things easy for the end user. And of course, last but not least, they are trusted by all of our partners. Every single one of our partners that we are going to have on this show and not on this show are always going to recommend, if you're building out an NDI workflow, go with NETGEAR's M4250 line of switches. We're talking about being able to easily expand your network or your production. And when you're looking at a NETGEAR switch, as long as you have an open port on that NETGEAR switch, you can connect an additional PTZ camera or fixed frame camera, and it will show up on your network. And any other device that is NDI compatible will be able to see and interact with that. So that could be a smartphone that's connected to your wireless access point that has the PTZ Optics app on it, and now you can control that PTZ camera from your phone wirelessly. Same thing with the IPJoy, the SuperJoy controller from PTZ Optics. Connected to your network, it can see all of those cameras, you can control those. Same thing with whatever production system you're using, whether it's a YOLO box or a Studio Pro from QuickLink or a TriCaster or vMix or Wirecast. As long as it's connected to the same network, it will be able to see those cameras and interact with them. And all you needed to do was plug one more cable in. It doesn't get much easier than that. And we're talking a lot about being able to expand your workflow with your existing equipment. So you can absolutely have existing SDI cameras or infrastructure in place and then just add NDI to it. Again, being able to take the SDI video feed out of your existing camcorder, converting it into an NDI feed, so now it's on the network and can be displayed anywhere on the network, that can all easily be done through a NETGEAR switch and an encoder. Same thing could happen if you wanted to say, okay, I have my PTZ cameras, but my switcher is baseband. It's an HDMI switcher. You can do the same thing. You can have all of your PTZ cameras connect directly to the network switch and then just take a couple decoders and bring that NDI feed back down to HDMI to plug into something like a YOLO box or whatever it may be that you want to be able to do. And all of that can be done through your NETGEAR switch. The way that I like to think about it is consider your NETGEAR M4250 switch as the central hub for all of your other NDI devices to go through, or Dante devices.
Introducing the next evolution of the NETGEAR M4350 series. Purpose-built for live production, broadcast, and mission-critical AV environments, scaling to thousands of endpoints. Built on the enterprise-class design of the M4350 series, now with more bandwidth and tour-grade performance. Rugged, lockable Neutrik EtherCon, OpticalCon, and PowerCon connections. Redundant power supplies, per-port multicolor LEDs, and high-capacity fabrics with 25 gig and 100 gig uplinks. With modular interface cards, M4350 adapts to your workflow, supporting fiber or copper today and future connectivity tomorrow. And a new high-performance model with 16 100 gig ports, ideal for larger installations aggregating hundreds of streams. At its core, the revolutionary NETGEAR AV OS and the intuitive Engage controller. With pre-configured profiles for all major audio, video, and lighting protocols, deployment is fast, consistent, and built for professional workflows. Both new models support SMPTE ST2110 with built-in Grandmaster and boundary clock functionality for critical broadcast signal timing. From rugged edge installations to a powerful 100 gig core, M4350 delivers the scale, resilience, and simplicity modern AV demands. NETGEAR M4350 series. Rugged where it counts. Powerful by design. Ready for anything.